We are going to discuss 3 simple steps to clearly defining our path for our bookkeeping clients. This training is coming from a actual website review that I did recently, and I'm going to share with you the picture so that we can have it as a guide for us. And you will be able to watch and learn as I go through this and impart to you some wisdom I have about what we need to be focusing on inside of our bookkeeping businesses. So I did a website review for Simple Times Bookkeeping, and on her website, she has this graphic, and it really stood out to me. And so it really motivated me for this training that I'm doing now for you. And so I want us to think through what is our path for our clients? What path do we want our bookkeeping clients to go along as we serve them as bookkeepers? So here Liz has free consultation call. We strategize a flow, and then we take a walk in the woods, and you take a walk in the woods and rest by the waterfall because you're living the simpler life. And when I saw this and I'm doing my review, it really inspired me because this ultimately is what we want for our clients. So what I want you to do today is I want us to think about how can we make our path straight and clear for our potential clients? How can we communicate that to them? And so one exercise that I actually do in my very own business too, and even for like this membership, when I do marketing to bring y'all into here or into the program, launch program, there are things I think about. And one of the questions that I ask myself that we can ask ourselves for bookkeeping clients too is, what result do we want for our clients so that they can accomplish what? So I came up with a really clear statement, and y'all copy this. You take it, you can put it on your websites if you want to, however you want to do it. But the statement I came up with for us to really make a clear path for our potential bookkeeping clients is, I help businesses organize their monthly financial activity so they can be fully present in their daily business operations that produce income. I'm going to repeat it one more time. This is for you. This is for me as a bookkeeper. This is what we do for our bookkeeping clients. I help businesses organize their monthly financial activity so they can be fully present in their daily business operations that produce income. Clear and simple. That's what we do as a bookkeeper. You can use that on your website. You can use it on your social media. You can take a section of it and use it, make a graphic. I don't care what you do. You can write it in your journal. Remember, I tell y'all about keeping journals. My journal's over there. I can't reach it. We need to be thinking on what results are we getting for our clients? What do they really want from us? I talk a lot in all of my trainings and teaching and coaching you about money. How can we reach monetary goals? But I want to challenge us to take our mind off of the money aspect for just a few minutes and think about the results that we produce for our clients. This is a challenge I'm doing for myself too. I don't ask anything of you that I'm not going to do myself. So I have been doing this as well in my own business, and I'm really beginning to see a shift happen whenever I think about what results am I getting my clients instead of, I need another $1,000 to come in my business. I need, to send this invoice out to receive that money. When I shift to how can I serve my clients better? How can I serve them? Things begin to shift some. So there's 2 things I want us to think about this morning when I talk about 3 simple steps to making our path clear and straight for our potential bookkeeping clients. Number 1 is taking our focus off of money and focus on what results we hope to create for our clients. And then number 2, make our focus on how we're serving our clients. Now, I want us to think about when you say, okay, when we put ourselves in the shoes of our business owners that we're serving in bookkeeping capacities, what do they really want? Well, I can give you some examples. One is they probably want to be present on the weekend with their families. They don't want to be doing bookkeeping and trying to get their receipts straight and all of that on weekends. They'd rather be present with their family. Another option of what they're probably wanting as results from us bookkeepers is they want to focus on their marketing. They want to grow their business so that they can really go to the next level. Another thought I had about what results are our clients looking for. Say you take a heating and air company, for example. Well, you've got the owner that you have a relationship with that you're serving for bookkeeping services with them. That owner would love some time to be able to go out in the field with their HVAC guys and see what they're doing, kind of see how they're motivating themselves throughout the day. How are they interacting with clients? What are some things that maybe he could do to help boost encouragement and boost morale inside of his business? If he had extra time that he could go on site with the guys to see what's happening, that would be so valuable to him. So that's a result that our bookkeeping clients are really wanting. And as we take on the role as bookkeeper for small businesses, these are things that are possible for them. And again, this is valuable for us as the bookkeeper because we're doing a mental shift of taking our mind away from meeting that monetary goal to meeting the results of our clients. What are the results our clients are needing? Now, when I talk about making our focus on how we serve our clients, I did a brain dump and I want to run through those. What are some results, physical results that we give our bookkeeping clients? Think through this. One is when we reconcile bank statements and bank accounts for our clients, we're able to have that reconciliation report. That month is reconciled for them. That means everything that flowed into that business that month and everything that flowed out is accounted for inside of software. That's a result that we give them. Secondly, if we run payroll for clients, then we will have weekly or monthly payroll reports for them, showing that tax payments have been processed timely and reports are processed timely, like our 941s, et cetera, for payroll. Another example of results that we actually give our bookkeeping clients is we sometimes can identify expenses that are excessive. So, for example, I have a client who they're in the restaurant industry. Cash flow is an issue for them. And when I ran the report, which is also known as the profit and loss that shows the expenses and income for the year, when I ran that for them for their taxes last year, the amount of money they spent on bank fees because of overdrafts, those type of things was so high. And so I made sure that I let the business owner know that, so that I said, you could have had, for example, $10,000 more in your bank account if you were able to manage the cash flow a little bit better. And then I was able to give her some recommendations on how to manage that cash flow. One way that I do that with my clients is I highly recommend for them to have two separate bank accounts, one tied to the main operational, so that the money can be moved over for the tax payments that are going to come out and for the payroll that's going to happen, so that those funds are set aside and not in the operational monies. That's one way that's really helped this company keep up with the cash flow, is moving those funds over into another account that's attached to the IRS website where all payments come out, sales tax, whatever. So that's helped with cash flow. But again, that was a result that I provided for a bookkeeping client, that I was able to identify an excessive amount of expenses that was coming out. And I said, whoa, wait a minute, this is something that we can work on. Another result that we give to them is ultimately at the end of the year, you can provide them a profit and loss report that shows all of their income and then all of their expenses and what was left at the end of the year, so they can file their tax returns. That is ultimately an end result that every business really likes to accomplish, okay, to be able to finish out the year. Now, I told you one of the main focuses of thinking about where Liz has here, take a walk in the client can take a walk in the woods and rest by the waterfall, because they're able to focus on the other things in their life that they really want to focus on and not have to be bogged down in bookkeeping. Part of that is us identifying what results we give them and then how we serve them. These are people on the other side of these numbers. These are people on the other side of the business names that we're serving. So how can we serve them? Again, I did a brain dump for you, and I came up with 3 different ways that we can serve them. One is we can send weekly or monthly emails. Just, hey, how are you doing? Here's an update on your profit and loss. Your banks are reconciled. They're ready to go. Just a touch basis email. We're serving them when we do that. We're letting them know that we're still here. We're here behind the scenes working, but we're still here and we're making progress. Secondly, and I've been able to do this quite a few times with my clients, and it is exciting. When your clients meet a financial goal in their business, celebrate it with them, bring it to their attention. I had a client just this year who for several years hovered under that $1 million sales mark. And I knew from just interaction with the business owner, they really wanted to break that $1 million mark. And they just hadn't been able to do it. Well, they did it this past year. And so as soon as I ran the year-end reports and I was looking at the numbers, I called him and I was like, congratulations, you did it. He said, what I do? And I told him, I said, you hit the $1 million mark in sales. He said, I did. And he was excited and I was able to celebrate that with him. That's serving our clients well, serving them well. And thirdly, remembering their people. Just remembering that they're people, they have things that happen in their lives. And one of my clients lost both of his parents within a 4-week span recently. And so I was able to have an hour-long conversation with him last week about his mom and dad and just interacting with him because he is a person. He is a real life person who has things going on too. I was able to serve him in the capacity of having a listening ear and showing some compassion to him and letting him know I was thinking about him and his family. And so that's the way you can serve your clients too. So what I want us to do, let's see, there we go. Okay. So ultimately, 3 simple steps to helping have a clear path for what our clients are really seeking will add so much value to your business. You will see your income increase in your bookkeeping business when we make this shift from thinking about the money to thinking about the results for our clients and how we can serve our clients. When we do this mental shift, and Liz did a great job with bringing this to my attention and to anyone who lands on her website, that ultimately this 3-step process is what we're trying to do as a bookkeeper. And I wanted to elaborate on it because I think it is so important. It is so important for us to make this mental shift, to think about what result are we trying to get for our bookkeeping clients. And I gave you word for word exactly what I came up with for my own physical bookkeeping business that I'm going to keep at the storefront of my mind. I'm going to write it and have it where I can see it every day. And that is, I help businesses organize their monthly financial activity so they can be fully present in their daily business operations that produce income. So we're able to shift it to where they can focus on the things they need to focus on, and we can focus on organizing those financial data for them so they can do the other things. So I hope this is a blessing to you. To me, this was almost like an epiphany moment for me when I realized, wait a minute, we just are bent to focusing on that monetary goal in our businesses. And a lot of times it's important for us to be reminded that not only do we need to focus on our monetary goals, but we need to focus on our result goals too. What result are we trying to get for our bookkeeping clients? And when you do that, and you begin to shift your mind to focus on that instead of the money, and the money works itself out. The money will be there, it comes. So this was just something, a different way of thinking that I recently have been brought to the light with looking at it this way. And I wanted to bring it to you too. I hope it's a blessing to you. This is something I encourage you to take 10 to 15 minutes today. Take your journal out, write out your statement. What is your ultimate goal for your clients? Let's see. The question you ask yourself is, what result do they want so that they can do what? So if you're serving, maybe you've got two industries you're trying to serve. You're serving heating and air companies, and you're serving the restaurant industry. Well, think about those business owners and think about they're wanting financial organizational results is what they want to be able to do what? Think about those individual business owners. Do they have a family? Do they have grandchildren? Are they trying to buy a piece of property so that they can retire on in 10 years? What's their ultimate goal? Write it down and leave that in front of you so that every day when you come in to do your bookkeeping task, you're remembering, what results am I really trying to accomplish for my bookkeeping clients? This is about results. And when you focus on that, the money will come. I hope this blessed you, and you all have a wonderful day.